So far in this window, Newcastle have signed 4 first-team signings for this campaign. Sandro Tonali, Harvey Barnes, Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall. And just when you think it's all over, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a curveball pops up. Can Newcastle actually make one more signing? Well, we're here today in this video to tell you everything you need to know about it. First off, guys, welcome back. We are playing Liverpool tomorrow at St James's Park. This is a match I've been looking forward to for a long time. The only team last season that was actually able to do the double over us. You see Klopp on social media. I think you see Liverpool fans as well on social media. They just don't seem to like Newcastle. They always will take pop shots at us. Tomorrow, I'm hoping we can humble them. It's the one match this season I would love it. As Keegan would say, I would love it if we beat them. I really hope we can stick it to them tomorrow. But back on topic, Jamaal Lascelles have all of a sudden potentially going to be moving to the Turkish league, and you've got to think about it logically. Well, if Newcastle was to sell a centre-half now, then surely they're going to bring one in, because, well, after Lascelles, here you've got Paul Dummer, Alex Murphy, Dan Burn. That is literally it in the 2 starting centre-halves. That is just nowhere near enough when you're going to be playing in the Champions League this season. So, in my personal opinion, if Jamaal Lascelles was to leave now, then I think Newcastle would sign our centre-half, but you'd be thinking, well, on the financial fair play, Newcastle already spent around 170 to 180 million pounds. How can we do this? There was a lot of questions popping up on social media, but Newcastle is starting to now clear out the club, all the waste, all the players that aren't actually getting game time. The club is starting to get rid of them now, which is a good thing for us long term. So we're going to get through all that in this video. There's plenty to talk about. If you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, that's what you enjoy. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, if you can do, please vote for me in the Football Content Awards for the best Premier League content creator and also the best content creator in general. I mean, for me, I'm doing these videos on a daily basis. There's a lot. I've got to travel up and down the country constantly. It's time consuming, it's expensive. So if you guys don't mind sparing 30 seconds and vote for me, I mean the absolute world, and I'll obviously get the vlog out from the Content Awards again this year if I get nominated. But without further ado, enough beating around the bush, let's get into it. It got announced by Sky Sports last night that Turkish side Besiktas is interested in signing Jamaal Lascelles from Newcastle. Now, the big thing about Lascelles being is that he actually is the club captain. So not only are you signing someone which is, I mean, not playing at all, but you're actually signing a player which is a big core of the team. You're selling the captain a week from the window ending. So it's a big move for Newcastle. I think the club will only accept if it's an offer they can't turn down. So let's say, for example, it's 10 to 15 million pounds for Lascelles, which is a lot of money. Let's be fair, it is a lot of money. I think Newcastle would be looking to sell if it's a move that's beneficial for them, which on the financial fair play allows them to spend more. Now, Eddie Howe, to be fair, I think it was about 2 weeks ago now, he came out in the press conference, he was saying it's not viable for Newcastle to sell another player in order to bring in someone. He said that Lewis Hall is going to be the final signing. But the problem being with Eddie Howe is that in press conferences, he is a bit of a liar. He does tend to mislead journalists. He does intentionally try and send journalists in a different path just in case the club has something they want to do. He wants to keep his cards close to his chest, and the last thing he wants to do is to give away information. But I do believe him in the sense that Newcastle haven't got much to spend. I don't honestly think that we can jump out on our 60, 70, 80 million pounds on a centre-half. I just don't think we can do it in this window. And we get on to Antonio Silva in a minute, because he's the centre-half that has been linked the most. But on the side of Jamaal Lascelles, I mean, the player wants to stay at Newcastle. He wants more game time, but he's happy staying at the club. And I think that's the most important part from him. For me, I would actually keep... I know you guys must be desperate to see a centre-half. I know you guys want to see us sign more players. I think it's fair for fans to think that way, but honestly, Newcastle, it's a long-term project. We can't just throw everything on the table in one window. We have to gradually do it over time. And as much as I'd love to see a centre-half, I just don't think it's realistic that we would spend an extra 70 to 80 million pounds. You've got to remember, again, we've already spent about 180 million pounds this window on 4 players. That is a lot of money to spend. We only signed Lewis Hall because we've loaned him now with the obligation to buy, meaning that we can pay Chelsea next summer. That's Newcastle actually got to work around the clock just to get a deal done. So to actually get a second deal like Lewis Hall done now, where we have to pay next summer, it's so hard to do. And I think it's a tricky one, because, well, if Lascelles was to go, then I think Newcastle would sign our centre-half. So it definitely depends how this one pans out over the next 48 hours. But if Lascelles leaves Newcastle, my honest personal opinion, I think Newcastle will bring in a centre-half. But it's whether he will leave or not is another question. I'm leaning more towards no. I give an honest opinion from me. But you guys are entitled to think what you want. I'm not here to kind of swerve you in a direction. I just want to tell you my honest opinion on it. Antonio Silva, the Benfica centre-half now. It's been reported from some media that if you were to bring him into Newcastle, you're going to be looking at around £85 million. That's Benfica's asking price. Now, obviously, I think you can get him for less than £85 million. But the point being is that you're going to be at least spending a good 60 plus on him, which would be our most expensive player ever. Is he worth that? I don't know. I haven't watched him, to be fair, so I couldn't tell you if he's actually worth being Newcastle's record signing. But the point I'm making is I just don't think it's realistic to get him in the summer. I just don't see how we can do it. It's going to be a tricky one because, well, you get the sales out and someone is going to come in. I'm absolutely certain someone will come in. But as for Antonio Silva, I don't know, it's tricky. But I wanted to talk about Newcastle a bit more because, well, despite the sales, they are actually still trying to sell more players. Ryan Fraser at Southampton got announced yesterday, so he's there on loan now. I'm hoping he has a good loan spell there, and then in the summer, Southampton can just buy him on the cheap. He's someone for a big long-term contract in Newcastle. Someone that obviously fell out of Bournemouth, he fell out of Newcastle. He just seems to be a troublemaker. I mean, Ryan Fraser even comes out in an interview yesterday stating that fans don't know the truth behind this. Fans assume one thing. Well, listen, Ryan, well, if something's went on behind the scenes and you feel like you've been misled by the media, just tell the truth. Tell people why they fell out. I mean, I think the fact that Ryan Fraser hasn't told people and he's then continue to try and prove his innocence without actually saying what happens. I just don't believe this guy at all. I mean, I think the facts speak for themselves. He fell out of Bournemouth, he fell out of Newcastle. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think he definitely is someone behind the scenes that's not ideal for the squad. As for Isaac Hayden, now he's another player that's on a long-term contract in Newcastle. Someone that, unfortunately, as much as I like him, he is more or less finished now. He's picked up several injuries, and I just don't think for Newcastle he can keep on. We just can't do it. So Luton Town are reportedly wanting to sign the player. Now, he is such a Luton Town signing, may I add. Imagine him and get Shelby on a free as well. Imagine him, Shelby, and Danny Drinkwater in the midfield. Just sums up Luton. You see him yesterday against Chelsea. There's such an odds-on team to go down. But honestly, for them, it's a smart sign. I mean, for Luton, you kind of need bodies and you need Premier League experience. He's not someone that I probably trust on trying to stay up, especially at his age. But I think Isaac Hayden's it. I mean, he's honestly a lovely guy, really sound. I think he's someone that will give 100% regardless of how fit he is physically. But for Luton, you just need experience. They've got to have swing going on because otherwise they're going straight back down. As for some other players now, Manquillo is still someone that hasn't been announced yet. Eddie Howe saying it is possible he could leave. During the Cellar Cup weekend, he was reportedly in Spain trying to sort stuff out on the transfer. Nothing's happened yet. It still seems like, as much as I said in my last video, that he might stay. It does kind of imply to me somewhat from the press conference that he is ready to go. Now, he's, again, a player I like a bit. Free signing was pretty good for what he did, but now is the right time to get rid of him. Newcastle got a lot of players. Got my most well. Emil Kraft's come back from his injury, so we have got the players. It's just about being able to get him in the squad and making sure we can work around it. Jeff Hendrick hasn't been announced by anyone yet, but he's still a player we have. We still have so many bodies in that door that have to go. They have to be sold. We just got loads of just pure bloated squad. We have to be able to deal with that large squad at once. I think Newcastle will do that, but you've got to be a bit patient. Some of these players will stay. And the problem being now, under the previous ownership, players like Hendrick, players like Hayden, players like Fraser have big 4-year, 5-year, 6-year contracts. We just can't sell these players because they've got huge contracts. These players don't want to go elsewhere. They want to get paid on a weekly basis. Just Newcastle aren't in a good situation here, and it's because of, well, how the previous ownership handled transfers. But we get them out. We've already got likes of Gale, Clark out. We'll continue to get these players out. It's just going to be a matter of time. But I wanted to finish things off by actually talking about the Liverpool match before we wrap up. Konate is actually injured for Liverpool tomorrow. It's been reported by Craig Cup. Now, I wouldn't ever wish an injury on a player, but just like Benzia was going at the Aston Villa match, these injuries are big for Newcastle. Even De Bruyne last week for City, I know things didn't go well in the day, but these injuries are key. I mean, this is 3 matches in now. Every single team's had a major injury. So Newcastle, I don't know what's going on here, but Newcastle can't take advantage of this. I think Konate is a big one. I'm not the biggest fan of Liverpool's defence, to be honest. I don't rate Joe Gomez, even though he had a good game against us last year. I don't rate Joe Matip. Who else? We've got Van Dijk. I mean, he was someone that I think before the Jordan Pickford injury was the best in the world. Now he's just nowhere near as good as he used to be. And Konate probably is potentially the best out of the bunch, and he's injured now. So Newcastle have got to be able to take advantage of a situation like this. Playing anyone at St James's Park is always going to be hard. Liverpool only just managed to do it last year, and that was because Nick Pope got sent off after 15 minutes. Even then, I thought Newcastle still dominated the game with 10 players on the pitch. I mean, we're a serious side to play at St James's. I don't think anyone honestly can actually take it to us. Maybe the likes of City, Arsenal on a good day, but even then, I still think they're in for a tough time. So we've got to be able to take advantage of Liverpool, a team that has been piping up for so long now. Let's show them why we are in top 4. Let's show them why we got Champions League football. Let's humble them. Let's take it to them. Let's make sure that we on the day are the better of the two sides, and that's all we can ask for. Brighton away next week, I think it's the harder game, believe it or not. I think that it's going to be such a hard game on a Saturday night. Brighton, a team that's won 4-1 in both their games so far. Yes, okay, it might be 4-1 against Luton and 4-1 against Wolves, but honestly, I think Brighton are a serious team, and I think they're as good as Newcastle when it comes towards home matches. Do not write these guys off. We've seen it last season. They are no joke. They will give us a tough match, and we have to be ready for them. And I think this Liverpool match is the easy out of the two games, so it's important for us to get the points there. And then against Brighton, we can go down with not as much, I guess, importance in the game. We can go into it, go for the 3 points and not worry so much if we don't come away with 3 points. But we have to make sure the home games are wins and the away matches we give it all we've got. Once those Champions League matches come in, then it's a different story. Then the pressure will pile up, and then the matches are coming quick and fast. So we have to be able to get it done now against these tough opposition sides while we've got the chance. But let me know your thoughts down below, guys. What are your score predictions for tomorrow? Do you think we'll beat Liverpool? Do you think we'll get the result over them? I think so. I'll give you my score prediction tomorrow. I appreciate you guys watching. Take care, and I will see you all in the next one.